Everyone. So in this video we're talking about PWM. Now 7 out of 10 people would have known about PWM because of Arduino. Because we do Arduino, we do fade in, fade out. The first thing that we do in Arduino. Now but what exactly is a PWM? And there are specific elements or specific components which actually work on PWM. Mostly we use LEDs and we use servo motor. These two things that we generally use work on PWM. They do work on PWM, but the concept and the range is different. So that is what we are going to talk about. Now mostly our LEDs or our servo motors work at 50 Hertz. What 50 Hertz means is basically it can change from 0 to 100. The servo motor data or the LED can go from 0 to 100 50 times in 1 second. That basically means 50 Hertz. So that means how much time it takes to go from 0 to 100 intensity is basically 20 milliseconds. This is the frequency. 1 upon frequency give you time. So 20 milliseconds they will take to change to go from 0 to 100 intensity, whatever it is. Now comes the concept of duty cycle. So now we know about the duty cycle, right? So maximum time you have to change the state of your LED or a servo is 20 milliseconds. So if you want to have the highest intensity, then go with 1 for 20 milliseconds and it will go at maximum, whatever it is. Okay. And if you want 50% of the intensity, go with 50% time as 1 and everything else as 0. So the LED will glow at 50% intensity. Now this doesn't go well, this concept doesn't really go well with servo motors. If you have an LED, you can have 20 milliseconds of this and you can change the width of this pulse and automatically the intensity will increase or decrease. But in servo motors, the concept is a little different. And yeah, by the way, so this is voltage, okay? It can be 5 volts, 8 volts, it is voltage. This axis is voltage. Now in servo motors, they actually work in the range of 5% to 10% of duty cycle. If you want to have a servo which goes to 0 degree, then you have to give 5% of duty cycle. If you want the servo to go at 180, you have to give 10% of duty cycle. You can't go beyond it. It won't really have any effect. If you go 15%, 20%, it won't really have any effect because this is computed or is manufactured to work in this particular range. 5% basically means the minimum of 1 millisecond. If you give it a high pulse out of 20 milliseconds, it will be at 0. If you give 2 milliseconds of high and then 20 milliseconds of low, that will go to 180. If you want to make your servo go at 90 degrees, you have to give 1.5 milliseconds of high and then everything else as low. To 20 milliseconds, 1.5 milliseconds high and then rest in 20 milliseconds as low. That will give you your servo to go at 90 degrees. So this is how servo works and is very different from LED and how LED really works to PWM. So they respond differently, and this was a very basic concept. What exactly is a PWM? It's just not a function. It just happens magically. This is what it is inside. So if you want to know something more about PWM, if you want me to go into more depth, if you want me to be little on a shallow side and just explain what exactly is PWM, just on a very basic note, you can tell me that also. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, you can always put that in the comment section below and I'll definitely read to it. I do check every morning when I wake up if there is any question, if there is any suggestion, if there is anything going on in the video or anything else. So I do keep a check on it. So let me know. And thank you for watching.